Hello, everybody. This is Jake Liachko, and you're tuned in to a brand new podcast, Public Huddle. Public Huddle is a grassroots effort in order to bring the people of Stanislaus County together, huddle together, to have a forum to discuss issues that matter most to us, residents of Stanislaus County. We intend to use this platform as a bridge between local government units within Stanislaus County and us, residents and communities of the county. We are here to watch what our local government agencies and units are doing. We would monitor the Board of Supervisors, city councils, and school boards primarily. We also would like to highlight the many different organizations, nonprofit and otherwise, businesses as well, that operate within Stanislaus County and highlight the good things they do and the benefits that we as residents could derive by patronizing their products and services. There are many things going on in our county, especially those that may relate to the workings of local governments and the school boards that we don't really get to know much about. And there's so much that we as residents of the county should know, should be informed about. And I know it's not easy to get to know everything that local government is doing. I myself need to invest plenty of time to just go over all of the websites and posts on social media and things like that in order to have a good understanding, general understanding of what's going on. So I conceived this whole idea of a podcast like this so that I may hopefully summarize and do an aggregation of all that we could get our hands on, and places that we can monitor. We'll be attending city council meetings, board of supervisor meetings, school board meetings. I am offering my time and my energies to be able to monitor their activities and hopefully do an objective reporting and use this forum as a way by which we could discuss whether the things that we get to report to you actually benefit us. And hopefully we could come together to present suggestions to our local officials and, work together, create a harmonious relationship between our local government units, our local government officials, and ourselves as communities that live within the Stanislaus County area. Public Huddle could be your convenient go-to resource as an aggregator of news and information related to local government, school boards, and the other boards and commissions within the city and the county. And we can use this as a springboard for discussing things that we are concerned about, things that we're worried about, things that we're happy about, things that we would like to suggest to our own local officials to better not only our communities, but the way our local government is run. Public Huddle is here as a voice for advocacy and accountability for the common good, our common good, the residents of Stanislaus County. We would advocate for our residents, and at the same time, we're going to be holding our local officials accountable for the very office to which we had elected them to. And that's our purpose. That's our reason for being. That's what we want to do. And I think it's but fair that we should have a forum like this where we can come together to discuss what's going on in our local governments. And that's what Public Huddle would like to do for you and with you. So one way to think about it is Public Huddle is offering itself to be a bridge between the communities in Stanislaus County and local government and vice versa. So Public Huddle will be a conduit to bring the concerns of the communities up to our local officials and hopefully obtain a positive response from local officials to address the concerns of our local constituents. So to give you a kind of a sampling of what we will be covering in Public Huddle, I, for example, was at the recent State of the City address given by Mayor Suze Wallen of Modesto about Measure H. Remember Measure H, that 1 cent tax that we are being assessed for every purchase done in the city? Well, she reported about where our Measure H taxes are going. And if you recall, it's supposed to be a tax that will go to projects like public safety, to support police and fire department, and to be able to stop crime, to be able to address the homeless problem, among many other things that are covered under the umbrella of Measure H. Well, the mayor just gave a report about Measure H in that State of the City address. And while everything, of course, looked rosy and nice, right? I do have a few questions I'd like to address to the mayor and maybe the city manager, to whom the mayor actually directed me when I asked her in the forum, for example, besides the taxes that Measure H is already taking from us, from the purchases we make in the city, the state has very recently given us $5.7 million as a grant to work with, to solve the homeless problem, right? So I asked the mayor in that forum, well, how is this Measure H going to work with the 5.7 million that we are getting? Is there a program in place that would perhaps dovetail the two? And, where is it going? Well, the best answer the mayor could give me is please talk to the assistant city administrator, who is city manager, who is right there, and also couldn't give me an answer. So that's just a sample of the things that we will be monitoring. We will be following up on that question of what happens to the 5.7 million. Recently also, the mayor of Modesto, Suze Wallen, and the city council, and together with some other groups, inaugurated the new Dignity Village, as they call it, for homeless people. It's like a little tiny homes that were built somewhere in downtown to accommodate the homeless and hopefully give them a kind of a bridge housing to help them get back on their feet, right? But you see, here's my question to the mayor and the city council. What are we actually doing to stop homelessness? To get to the root of the problem of homelessness and hopefully mitigate it to a degree where it's practically a negligible issue. But what we have in these initiatives like the Dignity Village is we're not really addressing the root of the problem. And many studies have already come out saying that the root of the problem of homelessness is not so much the lack of homes, it's really the problem of drugs that has been plaguing many of these people who are in a situation of homelessness. Of course, that's not to say that there are other problems, right? That there are other concerns, but several studies have already pointed to the biggest problem being that of drugs. What are we doing about that? Where is this 5.7 million going? Where is the Measure H money going to address the root cause of the problem of homelessness? Will building, transitional housing really solve the problem of homelessness? Or are we just, slapping a Band-Aid solution to a cancer that is affecting our city and our county, and we are not rooting out, we are not surgically approaching this problem. We are just curing it or trying to soften the impact by employing means that do not really address the root of the problem. So that's one of the things that we would like to monitor through Public Huddle. Now, there's a budget workshop coming up. The Finance Committee of the city is organizing a budget workshop. And this is going to be done on April 14. There's several dates, April 14, April 15, and 16, and 17. So 4 days of a budget workshop. So we plan to be attending these workshops and hopefully report back as to what's going on there. So these are the kinds of things that we would like to monitor. Now, that's on the level of the city and county, right? Now, on the level of the state, there are things we can also tackle. While I just said that Public Huddle would focus more on what is local, the Stanislaus County, it doesn't mean to say we won't pay attention to what's going on in the bigger, the bigger configuration of the state, because whatever is happening from the state level, of course, affects us in the county, right? One of the new things that is being proposed in Sacramento, for example, have you heard about the mileage tax, where Sacramento intends to impose a tax on us now based on the mileage we drive? Is it not enough that we're already being taxed heavily, in many other ways? And now they're even contemplating to tax us per mile that we drive. So the price of gas that we pay for, the gas tax, is not enough. They wanna suffocate us more by imposing a mileage tax. So we will monitor that, right? We'll also look into that. And then, of course, with Trump's tariffs well underway, we have our own Governor Newsom threatening to defy Trump's tariffs and instead, go his own way negotiating with our trade partners. Our own very defiant governor wants to do his own thing, despite the fact that there are already over 50 countries, as of the latest news, 50 countries precisely negotiating with Trump so that they don't suffer the tariff, the new tariff being imposed by Trump, by the Trump administration. So it's just funny how this guy just keeps trying to be always on the wrong side of what is good for us, right? So anyway, that's Newsom for you. And speaking about what's happening in the state, on the education front, we are also going to be reporting a lot about what's going on in education, right? And here, Democrats reject California bill banning transgender athletes. You really wonder what's in the minds of these Democrats when it's common sense, right? It's just common sense that boys don't have any place in girl sports. Yet the California Democrats on an assembly committee blocked two bills Thursday that would have banned transgender athletes from girl sports. We will monitor that. We will see where that goes. Okay? And speaking of education, K-12 schools must sign certification against DEI to receive federal money, the administration says. Right? So California is being investigated by the Trump administration as regards DEI. The Trump administration is investigating Maine and California for hiding children's gender confusion from parents. Remember that bill, 1955, right? The bill 1955. Well, now the Trump administration is investigating California for withholding such very intimate and vital information about students from their parents, all in the effort to try to push for their DEI agenda. And then on the congressional front, well, there's some movements also happening on the congressional front, and very recently, in fact, as recent as Saturday, right? Saturday, Mayor Javier Lopez of Ceres has announced his bid for the 13th Congressional District of California. He wants to challenge Adam Gray, a Democrat, for that post. So we covered that event extensively, and I'm going to put that video here, incorporated in this particular broadcast, so that you can watch that launching and what Mayor Lopez had to say about himself and about his candidacy. Watch.
My name is Javier Lopez. I'm the mayor of the city of Ceres, a football coach, a small business owner, and I'm running for Congress right here in the Valley. This wasn't easy, not an easy decision, but I know it's the right one because I believe in the future of this valley. I believe in America. And I know I can be a part of the solution to the challenges we're facing today. This election is about two very different paths. One side, you have a Sacramento politician who has been in office for years, voting for higher taxes, stricter regulations, and radical social policies that just don't match our values here in the Central Valley. He's backed by special interests in the establishment monarch. On the other side, you have me, a mayor, a coach, a business owner, a conservative Republican. I've lived the struggles that working families faced. I've rolled up my sleeves and gotten things done. See, I'm not afraid to call out the nonsense on either side of the aisle. I'm running for Congress to restore abundance, freedom, and opportunity. And I'd ask for your support. I ask for your vote. Because together, we can make America strong again. Together, we can make America proud again. And together, we can make America normal again. And like Sinatra said, the best is yet to come. Thank you, everybody.
And that's it for the maiden broadcast of Public Huddle. Stay tuned for the next episodes. And I would like to suggest that if you'd like to get updates as to when our next episodes would come, please don't hesitate to email us at editor@publichuddle.com so that you may receive notifications as to when the next episodes would be dropping. And at the same time, it'll be a venue for us to continue our conversation outside of the podcast. And I'd like to invite you, ladies and gentlemen of Stanislaus County, to be more involved with the goings on in our county. We need people who are involved. We need people who are concerned. We need people who will collaborate with the efforts to better our county and our local government. Join us in this effort because this is all about our common good. We hope to see you next time in the next episode of Public Huddle. Be well.